A young black woman walked into a luxury jewelry store, but the staff refused to serve her. They judged her by how she looked. What they didn't know was who they were really dealing with. The crystal doors slid open with a quiet hum as Zara stepped into Verlet Jewelers, one of the most exclusive boutiques in Beverly Hills. She wore simple dark jeans, a tucked-in white tee, and sneakers that had clearly seen more sidewalks than red carpets. Her hair was in a low, natural bun, her face bare of makeup. A woman behind the counter barely glanced up. Zara took in the layout: crystal chandeliers, velvet-lined showcases, white-gloved staff. Everything sparkled like it had something to prove. She walked toward the centerpiece display. Behind the glass, the Aurora Spring Collection, diamonds set in delicate swirls of platinum. "Excuse me," Zara said gently. "I'd like to see that ring, the one with the blue center stone." The woman behind the counter, a tall redhead with a clipped British accent, didn't smile. "Do you have an appointment?" Zara blinked. "No. I saw the collection online and wanted to see it in person." The woman tapped her pen twice against the glass. "We don't show those pieces without prior approval." Zara paused. "I wasn't aware viewing jewelry required clearance." "Most of our clients are pre-screened," the woman said, "for insurance purposes." From across the showroom, a pair of women leaned closer to each other. One of them glanced over at Zara, then whispered behind her palm, "She must have wandered in by mistake." Her friend giggled, maybe looking for a selfie spot. Zara heard them. Loud and clear. She didn't turn her head. "I'm still interested in seeing the ring," she said calmly, facing the redhead again. "I'm sorry," the woman said, clearly not sorry at all. "It's company policy. We prioritize verified clients, especially with pieces in that price range." Zara looked directly at her. "And what range would that be?" The woman's eyes narrowed. "Starting at 65,000. Zara gave a slight nod, unbothered. "Right. Well, I'd still like to take a closer look." A beat. The woman's mouth tightened. She turned slightly, addressed another associate. "Tina, can you take over here? I need to check something in the back." Tina, a younger blonde woman, approached reluctantly. She smiled tight. "Ma'am, I'm afraid that collection is reserved for appointments only." Zara raised an eyebrow. "Even though I'm already here?" Another woman walked past, wearing heels and holding a Chanel purse. Tina lit up. "Hi, welcome. Looking for something special today?" The woman hadn't even asked yet. Zara folded her arms, voice steady. "So, she can look. But I can't." Tina hesitated. "She's a returning client." "Of course she is," Zara said, more to herself than anyone else. No one laughed this time. Tina cleared her throat but avoided Zara's eyes. "Maybe you'd like to browse the silver section. We have some lovely seasonal pieces near the back." Zara gave her a look. Not angry, just sharp. "You think that's more my level?" Tina shifted uncomfortably. "I'm just trying to help." "No, you're trying to redirect me," Zara said. "Big difference." Behind them, the two women from earlier had moved closer to a corner display, but were clearly still listening. One of them snapped a quick photo, then said just loud enough, "She's probably going to post it like she bought it." Zara turned her head this time. Slowly, "I can hear you," she said plainly. The woman blinked, faked a smile. "Oh, sorry, just chatting." Tina looked nervous now, glancing around as if hoping someone else would take over. At that moment, a third employee, tall, square-jawed, wearing a black suit, approached. Lance, the floor supervisor. "What's going on here?" he asked. "She's been insisting to see the Aurora collection," Tina said carefully. Lance glanced at Zara. His gaze dropped to her shoes, then her t-shirt. "Ma'am, those pieces are extremely high value. We reserve them for verified clientele with purchase history." Zara didn't flinch. "So, you need to know how many diamonds I already bought before letting me look at more?" It's store protocol, he said evenly. We have security policies to follow. Right, she said. Funny how your security policy only activates when someone looks like me. There was a pause. Even Tina looked down at her feet. Lance gave a tight smile. I can assure you, this has nothing to do with how you look. Another customer, a young white woman in heels and a silk blazer, walked in, phone in hand. Lance perked up immediately. Welcome. Feel free to take a look around. Our newest arrivals are over here. Let me show you. He turned, completely leaving Zara mid-sentence. Tina followed him. The two of them hovered around the new customer like bees to perfume. Zara stood in silence, her jaw tightened. She looked down at the Aurora collection, still behind glass, still untouched, still being protected from her. She exhaled once, not in frustration, in decision. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. Zara tapped her screen and brought the phone to her ear. She spoke calmly. Hi, it's me. Yeah, I'm here now. She walked toward a seating area near the display and sat down without asking permission. Her posture was poised, elegant even in jeans. She crossed one leg over the other and kept her voice soft, but unmistakably clear. I was told the Aurora collection is off limits unless you're a verified buyer, she said, eyes still on the ring behind the glass. I thought that was strange, especially considering we underwrote it. Across the showroom, Lance stopped mid-sentence. His head turned toward her. So did Tina's. Zara didn't even look at them. Yes, she said into the phone. I'll wait. She ended the call and set her phone gently in her lap. Tina approached again, smile now forced and a bit pale. Was that someone you know? Zara tilted her head. I do know him. Very well. Silence stretched. Tina shifted. If you're waiting for someone, would you like a water or… No, thank you, Zara said, her voice flat. I'm good. She leaned back slightly, gazing again at the glittering set inside the display. For the first time, she wasn't the one looking out of place. Now it was everyone else who looked unsettled. A minute passed. 2. From upstairs, the sound of rushed footsteps echoed against marble tile. A suited man descended quickly, holding a tablet in one hand. He whispered something to Lance. Lance's face fell. Zara didn't move. She didn't need to. Lance was whispering fast and tight-lipped to the man in the suit. His eyes darted toward Zara, then back to the screen on the tablet. The man frowned. She's on the list. Which list? Lance asked. The man turned the screen toward him. Zara watched it all without blinking. A ripple passed through the air, quiet, invisible, but real. Like the moment right before a glass tips off the edge. Lance turned to Tina. Go get Mr. Graves. Tina hesitated. Now? Yes. Now. She disappeared into the back. Zara remained seated, legs crossed, calm like still water. She picked up her phone, flicked it open, and typed a short message. One line. Then she slipped it back into her bag. Across the room, the woman with the Chanel purse whispered again to her friend. This time, it wasn't mocking. It was confused. Do you think she's… someone? I don't know, the other muttered. But they're all panicking. The tall double doors at the far end of the store burst open. Graves, the regional director, strode in. Mid-50s, tailored gray suit, heavy watch, eyes sharp as razors. He scanned the room once, saw Zara, and froze for half a second. Then he crossed the showroom in 4 long strides. Miss Zara, he said, voice suddenly warm, rich. I'm so sorry. Lance stepped back like someone just unplugged him. I came as soon as I heard. This is absolutely unacceptable, Graves continued. You should have been greeted the moment you walked in. Zara stood slowly, not cold, not smug, just steady. She nodded once. I thought so too. Graves turned to the staff, his smile gone. Who denied her request? Tina appeared from the hallway and immediately halted. Lance opened his mouth. There was a misunderstanding. No, Zara cut in. Her tone didn't rise, but it silenced the room. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a decision. The weight of that sentence landed with a thud. Graves looked at her with a mixture of embarrassment and urgency. Please. Let me show you the full collection myself. Zara looked around the store. The silence, the stares, the faces that had, minutes ago, doubted she even belonged inside. She smiled faintly. Good. Graves led the way toward the private viewing suite, his pace brisk, almost apologetic. But Zara didn't follow him right away. She turned instead, slowly, scanning the room. Every pair of eyes lowered or shifted away. Tina stood near the counter, biting her lip. Lance was checking his watch, pointlessly. Zara walked past them, not in a hurry, just steady, deliberate. She stopped near the display case that had started it all. The Aurora Spring collection still sat under glass, glittering, untouched, guarded like a treasure from the wrong hands. Graves cleared his throat gently behind her. We've prepared the VIP room. The full set's ready for viewing. Zara glanced over her shoulder. Is that the same set I asked to see earlier? He hesitated. Yes. She turned fully, voice quiet. Good. Then let's not pretend anything's changed, except your tone. Graves nodded once. Fair. As they walked toward the back, a different employee, a young black woman, opened the frosted glass doors with a small, knowing smile. Zara gave her a subtle nod. Thank you. Inside, the light was softer. The air felt warmer. There were no curious stares, no forced smiles, just the diamonds. She stepped forward, leaned slightly toward the tray, and let out a breath. Not in awe, not in excitement, in calm. She didn't need to prove anything anymore. She never did. The VIP suite was silent, save for the soft hum of the ventilation and the faint click of Zara's fingernail against the glass tray. Across from her, Graves wiped his palms on his slacks before gesturing nervously toward the display. Please, take your time, he said. If there's anything you'd like. Zara didn't look at him. You said the full set is here? Yes, he nodded quickly. Everything from the Aurora Spring line, all 12 pieces. She finally looked up. Good. I like to see the whole picture before choosing. Graves offered a strained smile. Of course. Behind him, the door creaked open. Lance stood in the threshold, unsure if he should enter. Graves gestured him in. Come. Lance stepped inside, his usual confidence gone. His shoulders hung lower, his words more careful. Miss Zara, I want to apologize for earlier. I didn't know who you were. Zara raised an eyebrow. What would you have done differently if you had? Lance faltered. I just meant if I'd realized that I wasn't a threat, she said, her tone calm. Or that I was worth more? He swallowed hard. It wasn't personal. It never is, she said, until someone records it. Graves interrupted quickly. Lance will be stepping away from client-facing duties for now. Zara nodded once, then glanced at the younger black woman who had opened the door earlier. She should take his place. The woman blinked, surprised. Me? Zara smiled softly. You're the only one here who looked at me like I belonged. Graves cleared his throat. Understood. I'll make the adjustment immediately. There was a pause. Then Graves tried again, carefully. May I ask how you're connected to the Aurora line? Zara looked at him, almost amused. I'm not connected, she said. I funded it. The room froze. Graves blinked. I'm sorry? I'm one of the 3 private investors behind the campaign, she continued. We don't just buy jewelry. We help decide what gets made. Graves stepped back slightly, as if the realization had weight. Tina, watching through the crack of the door, looked like she'd seen a ghost. Zara reached forward, gently lifting the ring with the blue center stone, the one she had asked about at the very beginning. She slipped it on. Perfect fit. She looked up at Graves. "Do you still need to verify my purchase history?" He shook his head. "Not at all." She smiled. "Didn't think so." Zara stood, still wearing the blue stone ring. She took one last glance at the tray of diamonds, then looked at Graves. "I'll take the entire collection," she said softly. He blinked. "All 12 pieces?" She nodded. "Every single one." Graves looked stunned for a split second, then snapped back into motion. "Of course. I'll have them packed immediately." He waved toward the staff. Tina moved without a word. Zara reached into her bag, pulled out a sleek black card, and held it out. Not with pride, not to prove anything. Just routine. "Use this," she said. "Personal account." Tina took it like it was a sacred artifact. Her hands trembled slightly as she placed it into the reader. Beep. Approved. No one spoke. Zara slipped the ring off, placed it back into the velvet tray, and turned toward the exit. She stopped for a moment, just before the glass doors. Everyone was watching. Lance, Tina, the woman with the Chanel purse, even Graves. Zara didn't look angry. She looked at peace. She turned her head slightly and said, not bitterly, just truthfully, "Next time, maybe look at the person before the wallet." And then she walked out, the door sliding closed behind her with a soft, definitive hush. Inside, the silence held.